Today we're gonna talk about some shmoney. We're gonna talk about what I spend living in New York City in a single week in 2021. And it's important that I emphasize that because after going through what I spent last week, it is drastically different from how it would have been if I did this last year before COVID hit. My spending habits have changed so much and my lifestyle has changed a lot, which means where I'm putting my money has changed a lot. It's all just really fascinating stuff. If you are looking to move to New York and you're kind of on a budget like myself, this is actually going to be very realistic to what you might be paying when you get here. I definitely do have more of a budgeting mindset. I don't really go for luxury items. I don't buy a lot of clothes or makeup. I kind of just stick with what's minimal and what works and then spend my money on other things. A lot of where I used to put my money was on like concerts or events, and that has been a huge help that I haven't been able to do that, but that's where my money used to go. So I feel like my lifestyle has been a lot more boring, but that's out of my control and we all know that. I've seen people make this video where they add their fixed expenses in, their fixed monthly expenses. I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna give you an idea on everything that I pay for. So for my fixed expenses, I have my rent is $14.50. My gym membership is $44 a month. I pay $40 for laundry a month. Having a washer dryer in unit, oh man, it's so nice. But I don't anymore, so I pay with quarters. And it does add up because it's like $2.75 for a wash, and then I think I pay $2.25 for a dry. I usually do 1 or 2 loads a week. It evens out to about $40. So it's about $60 a month for electricity. I pay $180 for my health insurance every month. My monthly student loan payment is $380. So all of that together is $2,154 divided by 4, which comes to $538 per week that I spend on my fixed expenses. So we're gonna add that to my other expenses at the end. I feel very seen after like listing everything I spend my money on. So I pay for Canva. I do the Canva Pro. So that's $10 a month. And then Spotify, $10 a month. Hulu is $6 a month. And Netflix, I pay $13. Amazon Video is $15. And then Epidemic Sound, which is the copyright-free music that I use in my videos, is $15. And nothing is sponsored in this video, FYI, which comes out to $69 a month divided by 4, $17.25 for my subscriptions per week. So for all my fixed expenses and my subscriptions, it comes out to $555.75. And that's pretty realistic for New York City. It's pretty standard, I'll say. It's a lot. Obviously, rent is going to be higher here. You definitely have to keep that in mind. I don't want to see any wet blankets in the comments. So let's go day by day through the week and I'll show you what I spent my money on. So for Monday, I had a training run and transportation was $5.50 for there and back because it's $2.75 per ride on the subway. And after the run, I went to 7-Eleven for a Gatorade and for a protein bar, and that ended up being $7.10. But I had no leg mobility after that run, so I ordered Seamless and it was $24.11. I used to be so bad about ordering Seamless, y'all. I would order like breakfast. I'm like, who orders eggs on Seamless? I did. So the total for Monday was $36.71. I'd say we're not looking too bad so far. It's only been one day, but you know. And then for Tuesday, I spent the entire day at home. I had therapy on Zoom, which was $50. And then I had a random ATM fee. I was looking at my bank statement and I could not for the life of me figure out where this ATM fee came from because it's $6. I'm like, I would never pay $6 for an ATM fee. That's ridiculous. So I'm not going to dispute it because it's $6, but I have no idea where that came from. Either way, I had to add it in. And this was the day where I was feeling a little bit sick. I tested negative for COVID a couple times, so definitely it wasn't a COVID thing, don't worry. But because I was like, there might be a risk, I ordered Amazon food delivery groceries, which I have never done before. It was very convenient, but I wouldn't do it again. It ended up being $66.15. The quality of the food was just not that great either, so it just wasn't a win-win for me, and that's a lot of money. The total for Tuesday ended up being $122.15 from not leaving my apartment. So for Wednesday, I didn't leave the house either. I did have to buy checks, and that came to $31.74, and that was all that I spent that day. Not bad. Thursday, I went to Trader Joe's. That was $79.61. And this is interesting because, Chelsea, in the past, I would never spend that much money going to grocery stores. I would just buy like bags of chips or spend my money at bodegas and get sandwiches. So I do spend more money now on my weekly groceries. But because I do that, I don't feel like I have to order in, which does save a lot of money. Because you saw my Seamless on Monday was $25. And that's a third of what I paid for a whole week's worth of groceries. To me, it's worth it to spend that much money because I'm actually buying food that will nourish me. And really, truly, I'm not judging at all. But that's definitely a shift I've seen in me since the pandemic started, because I've just been more intentional, I guess, about where I'm eating, what kind of foods that I'm eating. So Trader Joe's was about $80. And to get there and back from Trader Joe's was $5.50. And then later that night, I went to see my friend Julie in Greenpoint, and it was one of the beautiful summer nights. It was one of the false spring, the New York fake spring nights. We went to a park and hung out socially distant, like as you do. But I spent $10.50 going to a liquor store beforehand, because So my total for Thursday was $98.36. Friday, I took the subway 3 times, ended up being $8.25 again. And then I went to CVS to pick up some groceries for my sick friend. And my portion of those CVS stuff was $15. Altogether, it was $23.25 for Friday. And Saturday, it was another run. So it was only the transportation cost, $5.50. I think, transportation is my more consistent expense. But see, no Ubers, no Lyfts. I mean, can I get a clap, please? An applause? Yeah, my total for Saturday was $5.50. So y'all know I'm a little bit into astrology, and I enjoyed tarot cards. So I found a deck and it really resonated with me, and I was like, these are beautiful. So I bought it. It was $25.60, and that was all that I bought on Sunday. All right, so my weekly total of non-fixed expenses was $343.41. It's a bit high, but by New York standards, I think I did really well. This week, I didn't have any big expenses to pay either, which did help keep it relatively low. I didn't even eat out at all this week. I just ordered takeout once. So typically I'd spend, it's hard to say, $50 to $100 going out a week. It's a lot of money. So the fact that I didn't have that this week kept it on the lower side. But to me, it is high, but it's not so bad. Frankly, because I'm paying so much money for rent, I justify that by the fact that I don't really need to leave here. I would be spending the same amount of money if I lived somewhere cheaper, had roommates, and then was going out all the time. It would have evened out anyways. For the weekly expense of $343.41, adding that to the fixed expenses, like my rent and stuff and the subscriptions, which was $555.75, it totals to $899.16. But yeah, I hope this shows you that it is possible to not have to spend a lot of money to survive here. It really just depends what kind of lifestyle you're looking for and what your budget is. If you just want to be here because you love the city, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You just have to be mindful where you're putting your money toward, and it is important to be mindful about where that money is going. I bought a couple things on Amazon this week. I could have been more mindful and put my money toward other small businesses and not Jeff Bezos. You know what I mean? It's a learning experience for me. It's a learning experience for everybody. But the more we pay attention to it, the more intentional you will get. And it's not about berating yourself for spending so much money. It's just by having more awareness around it, it can never hurt. And maybe a little bit of a wake-up call too. So if you liked this video and found it helpful, make sure to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe before you go. Or you don't have to do any of that at all. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.